When I go on vacation, I always take a large camera with me for high quality video and also a pocket camera so I can easily carry it around and start recording. But recently I was searching for a new one and I think I found a great camera. It is called the Sony ZV-1. It is the Mark I because they also released a Mark II. But I think for me this is the better option. Let me tell you why. So this camera is already 5 years old, which sounds very old, but that doesn't mean it's a bad camera. Actually, it's still a very good one, because even though it is very compact, it has a large 1.0 type sensor in this camera. And it even has a better aperture compared to my camcorder, because this has a 24-70mm f1.8 to 2.8 lens. So the zoom amount of this camera isn't that much, but you will be able to get a nice blurry background because of the large aperture. And it will also be good in low light. So when we compare the ZV-1 to the RX100 VII, which is the flagship compact camera from Sony, this one actually has a better aperture lens. Because this one has f2.8 to f4.5 and this one has f1.8 to f2.8. So while the RX100 VII has a larger zoom, you will be able to get a more blurry background with this camera and also better low light performance. In the settings I just add a little bit of saturation and turn the contrast down and I have a nice looking image. And it also has custom picture profiles if you want to change your color to what you like. So sometimes I like to shoot in Cine 2 and I can select that in this camera. Also, unlike the RX100 VII, it has a built-in ND filter, which is amazing. What ND filter is kind of like sunglasses for your camera. So if it gets really bright outside, you will be able to get a lower shutter speed and still get a little bit of that motion blur. And when we take a look at the video quality of this camera, it is really good in my opinion. It is the same sensor that is used in the Sony NX80 and Z90, which are professional camcorders, but obviously it doesn't have all the features that those cameras have. So this only has a single ND filter instead of 3 and also a tiny battery. So if you are shooting in 4K, the battery life of this camera isn't great at all. You will probably get about 45 minutes of recording. But in 1080p the battery life was really good. And it also has an option for lower file sizes, so you can get 16 megabits per second at 1080p. And then the video quality still looks decent, so if you're shooting for a very long period of time, the storage won't take up that much on your SD card. It also has some fun slow motion modes where you can shoot up to 960 FPS. In my opinion the quality is just not that good enough, but it's still a fun option to have. And it still looks decent up to about 240 FPS, but it's only in burst mode, so you won't be able to record audio and it will only record for a very short period of time. It also has a built-in microphone on the top, which can capture some great audio in my opinion. It is however omnidirectional, so you will hear everything in your surroundings, which isn't the best thing. But what is nice is that this camera comes included with this windscreen that you can attach, and then it is still pocketable, but you won't hear a lot of that wind noise, which a lot of my previous cameras had, where you would hear a lot of wind noise. So this thing has good video quality, good audio quality in a compact body. So does that mean that this is the perfect vlog camera? Well, sadly no, it definitely has a few downsides that I don't like. The first thing is this grip. Luckily it has a little bit of a grip, but it's just not a very comfortable camera to hold in my opinion. Especially for a longer period of time. And yes, obviously I can attach a grip to this camera, but then I can't fit it in my pocket anymore, so then I might as well use a little bit of a larger camera and get an even better image. And while this flip screen is nice, the camera will get very long. So right now you can see how long the camera is. What is nice is that you can flip it and you have a selfie screen. Another thing is that the zoom is really loud. So when you zoom in or out, you will hear that in the recordings, and that is definitely really disappointing. You have a zoom option in the menu settings, so you can get a slow or a fast zoom. And when you set a slow zoom, you will hear the noise a lot less. But the zoom is so slow, it is just unusable in my opinion. But having zoom is better than having no zoom, because when I am using an action camera for example, or if I'm using a smaller compact camera like the RX0, you don't have zoom at all. So it is nice that you have the option to zoom and have a good aperture, because other pocket cameras like action cams have smaller sensors which will produce a worse image quality. Another downside to this camera is that even though it is pocketable, it is still pretty big. So I can't have my wallet or my phone in the same pocket as this camera. I can only fit this camera in my pocket. Also, if you're a photographer, it doesn't have a built-in electronic viewfinder, so you just have the screen. And if you're in the sun, it can't get that bright, so that might be a little bit annoying. The newer version of this camera goes up to f4 when you zoom in, whereas this one goes to f2.8. And the newer version doesn't have the nice slow motion features that this camera has. The newer version also doesn't have optical image stabilization and it doesn't have a physical shutter. Whereas this one you can choose between electronic and a physical shutter. Also when you are buying this one used it's only 400 euros, whereas the newer version is a lot more expensive. So that's why I think this is a better option. So should you still buy this camera in 2025? Well, I think it is still a great option if you need something that's compact and you can get some great results with this camera. But keep in mind it does have a few limitations. So for example the noise when you are zooming in, it is very loud. Also this is a 24 to 70mm lens, so when you are vlogging the lens isn't very wide. But other than that, this is still a great camera in 2025. What do you think of the Sony ZV-1? Let me know in the comments down below and thank you so much for watching.